So in his first interview since announcing a planned move from D.C. to Northern Virginia, Washington Capitals and Wizards owner Ted Leonsis went one-on-one with our chief investigative reporter Eric Flack.
He talked about everything from traffic to D.C. crime and fan outrage over his decision. Flack is here now with a breakdown of what Leonsis had to say. Flack, Leonsis doesn't think that he's abandoning D.C. in the way that some believe that he is.
Doesn't, and he told me he's been hurt by the response from fans and surprised at the outrage on social media, which only intensified after I posted some of what he told me on X. In our interview, Leonsis said the decision to move was not about concerns over rising crime around Capital One, but the need for a bigger footprint, the need for a bigger campus. He's got 12 acres potentially in Alexandria's Potomac Yard versus 3 acres downtown, and the ability to have a blank slate to build a brand new 20,000 seat arena and music venue.
So what is next as far as the things that they're looking at here, Eric? The transportation, all the things that they would have to do to improve Potomac Yard.
Yeah, I think first right now is really just the idea that he has to get the approval from the legislature, and that's the biggest hurdle. Then it's going to move on to other things, such as getting the approval, as you heard from Alexandria's City Council. When it comes to traffic, that's one thing he does have to address. What happens, with the traffic issue? He says he's been studying other arenas like Golden State out in San Francisco, and that, in fact, and how they handled the traffic, trying to adapt some of those to what he might do here.
Yeah, there was a lot of concern about what that traffic would look like along Route 1, Richmond Highway there. For a lot of folks that live and work in that area, it's already congested, so that's a fairly valid concern that some of these residents have. I want to get to one last question before we let you go, Eric. This all leads us to another question about what happens if, in fact, this move is approved from lawmakers. What will be those next steps?
Yeah, that's a big question. Leonsis said he wants to stay and continue to operate at Capital One as an entertainment venue. Mayor Bowser told reporters just last week she has no interest in renegotiating a long deal with Monumental without the sports teams. Now, I want you to listen to what Leonsis told me about his relationship with Mayor Bowser, and then listen to what the mayor said back in January.
That we weren't invited to be on the council to reimagine what's happening in downtown DC.
In fact, the mayor says she doesn't want to work with you anymore if you take the teams. Didn't she say that?
No, I think the mayor and the city...
I read that.
I bet if you asked the mayor that she would be appreciative that we employ a lot of people, we pay a lot of taxes, we've upgraded the building. If we were to move and keep this building here in Washington, D.C., I wouldn't be asking the city for any monies. I just put $200 million into the building.
If the suggestion is that Monumental would run a new entertainment and sports arena in Virginia and an entertainment and sports arena in downtown Washington, well, that just doesn't make sense.
Well, Eric, I think this leads to kind of a broader question, right? I mean, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, the DMV, we're one region, and we kind of operate in that capacity. I'm curious as to why D.C. residents believe in particular that the complex going over the river into Northern Virginia is a loss for them when we are one region.
Larry, if Ted Leonsis is watching you say that right now, he's saying yes, exactly. When I was at the Capital One Arena yesterday doing the interview with him, he said, look, the arena is only 2.5, 3 miles from where we are right now. And I had a question on X when I posted it from a fan who said, do you really think people from Maryland will go all the way to Virginia? He said, I live in Potomac. It would take me longer to get to Capital One than it will to get to this new arena site once they fix GW Parkway and those repairs. So that's exactly what he's saying. He calls us a super region, and he doesn't get why people are so upset, quite honestly. But people in DC feel like he's gutting downtown, and they just see it a much different way.
Yeah, it wouldn't change what is likely to happen, what everyone is predicting will happen there with restaurants leaving and other folks leaving, and because there isn't any plan right now, at least that anyone's seen, to bring in something to fill that void.
Mayor's working on that, but it's going to be tough without the teams.
We'll watch it closely. Eric, thanks.
All right.
Eric, thanks.